Okay, so now let's start with our global tables lab solution. In task 1, we have to create a version 2017 global table with a replica in 2 different regions. So let's start with that. So my source region is Ireland. You can see I'm in EU West 1. So I'll create a table in EU West 1 called Store 2017. I'll give the partition key a name of ID. I'll create an on-demand table. You can choose any capacity mode you wish, and I'll click create. We'll wait for this table to be created. Okay, the table is active. So to create a global table, we'll click on the Global Tables tab. We need to first enable streams, and then we can add our replica. Because we need to create version 2017 global tables, we need to click on this button, Global Table 2017 mode. And now this replica and this global table will be of the version 2017. So I'll choose my replica region as California and click continue. Okay, so this replica has been successfully created and added to the global table. We can click on Go to Table to open the AWS console in that region. And there's our replica. So let's write an item. Task 2 is to write an item to a replica in one region and see it appear in the replica in the other region. We can see that both replicas have no items in them. So if we add an item to the replica in California, click create. If we go to the table in Ireland and refresh the items tab, we can see our replica added, and we can also see our 3 replication attributes that are added by DynamoDB. And this is used, if you remember from the theory section, for DynamoDB's replication system. Okay, task 3 is to validate that it consumed 2 RWCUs at each replica. So we can go to the metrics tab and click on view in CloudWatch metrics. The metrics might not be published yet, and we'll then have to come back later to verify this. So we click on table metrics, consumed write capacity, graph metrics tab, change the statistic to sum and the period to 1 minute. And we can see the metric hasn't been published yet, so we can come back to this at a later stage. So task 4 is to create a table called Store 2019, that's our version 2019 global tables. So let's do that now. We can reuse these regions. So we'll just create another table, call it Store 2019. We can choose the same partition key name, and we'll choose the on-demand capacity mode. And click create. Table is still creating, and the table is active. So now we need to add a replica. So we first need to enable streams and then add region. We're going to leave the default global table version of 2019 and choose California again. Click create replica. And it says the replica in the intended region has been initiated successfully. It may take a few minutes for the replica to be created. So it's not as instant as the version 2017 global tables. We'll just have to wait for store 2019 to be created in North California. In the meantime, let's go check those consumed write capacity metrics on store 2017, and we want to see that it's consumed 2 RWCUs. And there we can see in Ireland, to write that one item, it consumed 2 WCUs. And let's just go verify the same thing in California. Metrics tab, view all CloudWatch metrics. Then click on table metrics, consumed write capacity units. And let's click on the graph metrics tab, change the statistic to sum and the period to 1 minute. And we can see here as well, it consumed 2 WCUs. So let's just go check if our table store 2019, the replica has been created in California yet. And you can see it now it's active. Task 5 is to write an item in one region and see it appear in the other region for store 2019. So let's do that now. Create item 2345 as the ID, and for the title of whatever item is being sold in the store, we can just call it butter. Click save, and let's go to our island region and see if the item has been replicated there. There it is. And you can see those 3 replication attributes are not in the 2019 version. So task 6 is to add a third replica to the existing global table. Even though this table already has items in it, we can still add additional replicas, unlike with version 2017 where we cannot do this. So we'll go to the global tables tab, add region, and we'll choose Frankfurt. Click create replica. Okay, it may take a few minutes for the replica to be created. Click on go to table. You can see we're in Frankfurt now. And the table is being created. And the existing items will be restored from one of the other replicas into this replica in Frankfurt. It's still being created. You'll remember there's the resource allocation phase and then the backfilling phase. So both phases need to complete before the table becomes active. In the meantime, while we wait for this third replica in Frankfurt to be created, we can continue with task 7, and that's to validate that the replicas only consumed 1 RWCU for the items written. So when we added the item to the replica in California and it replicated to the table in Ireland, we should see that this consumed 1 WCU. So if we go to our CloudWatch metrics and graph the metric for the store 2019 table, store 2019 consumed write capacity units, and then look at the sum 1 minute period, we can see that it consumed 1 WCU. And let's look at the same in California. Store 2019 consumed write capacity units. We can see it also consumed 1 WCU. So unlike with version 2017, this consumed 1 WCU and that was not multiplied by 2. So let's see if the replica in Frankfurt is completed yet. It's still creating. Okay, so there's our replica in Frankfurt completed. It's now active. So we are able now to add an item to this third replica. You can see it restored the data that's in the existing global table. Okay, and if we add this item in this third replica, you can see that it will be replicated to the other replicas in this 2019 global table. We can refresh here, and there's the item we wrote in the replica in Frankfurt, and the same with the replica in California. Okay, so that's how you perform all the tasks in the global tables lab.